Thanks very much for that. Now, if you have a bank account or property or investments held outside the UK and you've not told HM Revenue and Customs, you have just a couple of months to fess up. If you leave it until the end of September, after the end of September, you'll face harsh penalties when the revenue finally catches up with you. One listener received this letter.
I'm writing to you before the introduction of the new requirement to correct certain offshore tax non-compliance. If you have any overseas income or gains that you find you've not declared, you must tell us by 30th of September 2018. If you do not, we may charge you new financial penalties. These penalties start at a minimum of 100% of the tax due.
So doubling the tax you owe and more in many cases. But even if you haven't had that letter, you should ask yourself if you have any, and I do mean any, income in another country. Perhaps some savings in a bank account you opened abroad years ago on a gap year or a holiday. Perhaps in Ireland for your family. Maybe you have a second home abroad which you sometimes rent out. Holding assets outside the UK isn't illegal, of course, but all taxable income and gains must be declared to HMRC. And now there are these new penalties if you don't do it before the 1st of October. Live now to Bristol to talk to John Barnett. He's head of private client and tax at the law firm Burgess Salmon. John Barnett, I listed some of the incomes, but what other things might people have that they just haven't even thought about?
I think you've listed the main ones there, Paul. The other one is a foreign inheritance. So if you've inherited any assets from abroad, or indeed if you've moved assets out of the UK abroad, that can apply as well. The other things to watch out for are situations where you make judgment calls, so you believe yourself to be non-resident in the UK. But the rules around that are very complicated and very easy to get wrong.
Yes, I think we're generally talking about people who are resident here, aren't we? And that's who the HMRC seems to be after. And I suppose things like dividends, if you've got a foreign investment and that pays dividends in another country, as well as interest from overseas companies or rent from properties, as I said.
Yes, all of those would be caught, and pensions income potentially as well.
Right, so a pension you may have earned when you were abroad that's paid, that could be caught. And even things like royalties that are earned outside the UK, I think HMRC mentions.
Yes, all of those.
Now, all of these things they're not really aimed at wealthy people, are they? I mean, these are fairly ordinary things that many people will have. So why is the revenue clamping down on them when the tax saved probably won't be that much?
This all hinges around a new international standard, the Common Reporting Standard, which is where I think over 100 countries now are going automatically to be exchanging information on foreign income, particularly in foreign bank accounts. And the Revenue have really said this is a last opportunity before that comes in and they start getting information automatically to put this right. It applies to everybody, so that